welcome to For the First Time in Forever, the show that aims to fill the gaps in all of our watch lists. Last week we kicked off Spooktober to talk about a film that kind of restarted the found footage genre, and that was Paranormal Activity, and if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out by clicking the link in the description below. But this week we turn to a master of horror in the form of John Carpenter as we take a look at an icon of the sci-fi horror genre, The Thing. Wait a second. I am going to be talking about spoilers for this film, so consider this your warning now. Also, it goes without saying, there's going to be some really gory images in this video, so if you've got a weak stomach, I'd suggest clicking on another of my first time videos.
Palmer now.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last. Get away from me! Retreating! What is it?
Now, when The Thing debuted in 1982, critics and audiences, well, they weren't quite ready for what they were going to have to endure. The only point of reference that some could make was that it was a remake of a 1951 low-budget horror based on the same source material entitled The Thing from Another World. And at that point in time, John Carpenter was a very well-respected filmmaker. He'd emerged onto the scene with the groundbreaking and legendary 1978 Halloween, and he also directed the 1981 action epic Escape from New York, which also starred Kurt Russell. But with The Thing, Carpenter set out to merge the two worlds of horror and science fiction to create a beast unlike anything the likes of cinema had seen before. Set in a remote US base in Antarctica, a group of Americans quickly find themselves under attack from an unknown entity. They soon realize that this being can imitate fellow life forms, descending the minds of these men into an increasing state of paranoia as they all fight for survival. Now, upon its release, The Thing actually debuted to largely negative reviews. Some called it junk, some referred to the character development as being quite thin, and noting that second point about the characters and their development, that's probably where some of my criticisms of this film lie. The Thing is a very thin movie. It's all surface level creature feature, body horror, gore fest that doesn't really do a great deal into delving into who these characters are. Because aside from Kurt Russell as MacReady, there aren't any other characters that really stand out. And the only reason that MacReady stands out as a character isn't really anything to do with the writing per se, it's more to do with Kurt Russell's charismatic performance. As for the other actors, like Keith David and Wilford Brimley in this film, they do a good job at conveying this paranoia that is permeating across the base, but they just do very little to make their characters all that memorable, aside from the elaborate deaths that they have later on in the film. And personally, I think a lot of those issues could have just been solved with more of an introduction. After the opening titles, Carpenter throws us right into the mix as we cut to wide open vistas of the desolate Antarctic fields as a helicopter is seemingly chasing a dog. The helicopter lands in the American base, blows up, and immediately we're beginning to suspect what could be afoot. The problem with flinging us straight into the deep end is, at this point, Carpenter hasn't given us any information about who these characters are, certain relationships is the base. We're getting straight on with it, and I don't mind that in terms of pace, but as for someone who cares about character development and wants to get attached to these characters so as to feel fully immersed as much as possible, I didn't really feel that that was there. Personally, I think maybe 5-10 minutes extra material of just showing their day-to-day lives at the base, getting us acquainted with the layout, with the structure, and of this relationship throughout the group. I think that would have done such a great job in getting us on board with these characters so that when shit hits the fan, we are with them too. But nevertheless, the film plays out as some members of the group discover signs that extraterrestrial life may be the cause of these attacks, and that they themselves are the new targets. However, due to the fact that these otherworldly beings cannot be seen unless threatened, every single individual comes under suspicion as a potential imposter. And this is where the movie really begins to shine, because Carpenter and screenwriter Bill Lancaster do a tremendous job capturing the dissent that has spread throughout this group to the point where you yourself are questioning the legitimacy of who is human and who is not. It's very well paced. I think it clocks in at something like just over 100 minutes. There's never a dull moment. It is literally speeding along from the word go. And with the late great Ennio Morricone scoring the film, his tense, atmospheric, foreboding score helps push the intensity up a couple of notches. But fans of The Thing, watching this video right now, are probably aware that I'm currently tiptoeing around one aspect of The Thing, an aspect of which The Thing is probably most known for, and those are its practical effects. Absolutely no hyperbole here. These are some of the best practical effects to ever be filmed. I mean, look at this. Tell me this isn't the stuff of nightmares. The intricacies, the level of detail, and just sheer repulsive nature of these animatronics and puppets are nothing short of masterful. Even almost 40 years since it was released, I can think of very little that matches on par to what Carpenter and co. were able to conjure up here. The Thing is a textbook case of how to merge horror with science fiction to create a thoroughly disgusting yet extremely entertaining affair. The practical creature effects were groundbreaking in its impact towards filmmaking. I mean, look at this. How the hell are they able to pull this off? My only qualms with the film are the thinly developed characters that I feel could have just been resolved with an extra 5 or 10 minutes at the beginning. So, after watching The Thing for the first time in forever, I can safely say that it is worth it. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts on that film. Let me know, have you seen The Thing? And if you have, I mean most of you probably have. I feel like I'm the only person on the planet who hasn't seen The Thing. But what did you think of it? I know for some people it's like up there among the greatest horror films ever made. For me, not quite. Maybe after a couple rewatches it might get there, but for the time being, I thought it was thoroughly entertaining. Now, as I'm sure some of you are aware, we are currently on the road to 300 subscribers. The end is in sight. Not too many subscribers to go now. So if you are watching this video, you have enjoyed yourself, but you are not yet subscribed, what are you doing? Go down, click that subscribe button. I promise you, it will make my day. And Spooktober continues next week, and here is a little teaser for what you can expect. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please make sure that you click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All the links to my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and my letterbox are all in the description below. And if you haven't liked the video, what are you still doing here?